Now we move to the welterweights. Cooled by injury, one of the most talented 170-pound fighters in the UFC today returns to look to turn up the heat as Karo Parisyan battles Dong Young Kim's prowess in the art of judo is matched by few. One of those few is his opponent tonight, Karo Parisyan, the man who put judo on the map in the UFC and who wants to keep his unofficial crown as the Octagon's top judo player intact.
I want to start this year violently in my career, and Dong Young Kim is going to be standing in front of me. I want to break his legs. I'm going to kick him so hard.
I know I'm good at both judo and on the ground, but I want to keep this fight standing, kick his ass, and knock him out.
A Korean hero whose fans wait up all night to see his fights on television, Kim carries a great weight on his shoulders in terms of expectations every time he steps into the octagon. But with UFC wins over Jason Tan and Matt Brown already secured, the 27-year-old judo black belt has shown that he is more than ready to deliver on his promise, not only to himself, but to his country.
In Korea, my nickname is Stun Gun. Tonight, I'm going to show the UFC fans why that is, when I knock Karo out with my left hand.
The first fighter to truly show how effective judo could be in mixed martial arts, Parisyan has used his grappling and throws to earn 8 UFC victories over the likes of Matt Serra, Chris Lytle, Josh Berkman, and Dave Strasser. But tonight, the 26-year-old Armenian will meet a fellow judoka for the first time in camp, and what results may be one of the most explosive fights of the night.
I want to dominate every round, every aspect of the game, every clinch, ground game, stand-up. Everywhere the fight goes, I want to be 2 to 3 steps ahead of him. I want to dominate him. At the end of the fight, I want his face to look like a beaten-up meat.
Yeah, turn that up. Okay. I know everybody bouncing, right?
The Stun Gun! From South Korea, only the second Korean fighter to compete in the UFC. Jo-sun was the first, and the first to win a UFC match. Well, he's been bettered by 27-year-old Southpaw Dong Young Kim, the 4th degree judo black belt, because he is a perfect 2-0 inside the octagon.
Dong Young Kim looked very good in his last fight against Matt Brown. Very close fight, but really controlled a lot of the grappling exchanges, had Matt Brown's back, took him down several times, showed some excellent judo in that match, which is really going to be interesting to see a judo fighter like Dong Young Kim fight against a great judo fighter like Karo Parisyan. Very interesting to see how the two cancel each other out.
11-0-1 in his mixed martial arts career. You know, surprisingly, it was actually Dong Young Kim who said, this is an MMA matchup. Usually you'd hear that comment come out of the veteran's mouth first, Karo Parisyan, and many times when we've seen it before, Joe, you got great wrestling against great wrestling, great Muay Thai against great Muay Thai, great judo against great judo. Those skills cancel each other out, and the winner is the man who's the better in another form of fighting.
That's a very, very good point, and you know, if you have to look at it that way, Dong Young Kim's striking as compared to Karo Parisyan, I kind of give an edge to Karo. We don't know though until we see them fight, obviously. Karo has done very well standing up with some real tough guys though, like Berkman or Ryo Chonen.
Well, more so than anything else, it's a pleasure to see the return of the heat, Karo Parisyan. And what a ride it's been, Joe. I mean, he was set for the title fight against Matt Hughes years ago. A last-minute injury struck him, unable to perform in that fight. You know, then he was set back by Diego Sanchez, beaten by Thiago Alves, unable to fight in his last opportunity because of a panic disorder, also a back injury. I think there's a lot of questions in the mind of a lot of fans of Karo Parisyan as he enters the octagon again tonight.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of questions. You know, the injury that he had over when he was supposed to be fighting Matt Hughes for the title is a very significant one that still impairs him, Mike. His left leg, his hamstring and his left leg, he's missing a chunk out of it. Wow. You know, have you ever seen a guy who's got a bicep tear, their bicep curls up and it looks like they have half a bicep? Well, that's what his hamstring looks like. It's significantly less strong than his right hamstring, and that's affected him greatly. I mean, his game is all about judo. It's all about using the legs and throwing guys, and you know, when he's only got one good leg, that's very difficult to do. You see him there with Greg Jackson. Greg Jackson's been helping him with his training, and that's a very important thing too, because for a long time, Karo was bouncing around from place to place. Having found a home there with Jackson and one of the best camps in the world is surely going to help him, both in his confidence and, of course, in his technique.
26 wins in his mixed martial arts career, stopped for the first time ever in his last entrance into the octagon by Thiago Alves. The heat is back. Tale of the tape for this welterweight fight. Armenian-born Karo Parisyan, just 26 years old. The Korean Dong-Young Kim, 27 years old. He is 3 inches taller, 1 pound heavier at the official weigh-ins, and will have a 4-inch reach advantage. Once again with the official introductions, here is the veteran voice of the octagon, Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC welterweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This man is a mixed martial artist, holding a professional record of 11 wins, no losses, and 1 draw. He stands 6 feet 1 inch tall, weighing in at 171 pounds. Fighting out of Busan, South Korea, Dong-Young Kim. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. A mixed martial artist holding a professional record of 26 wins with 5 losses. Standing 5 feet 10 inches tall, weighing in at 170 pounds. Fighting out of North Hollywood, California, Karo the Heat Parisyan. And when the action begins, our referee in charge of the octagon is Josh Rosenthal.
So Josh Rosenthal is our referee. The return of the Heat, set to take on the stun gun.
Kelvin, you ready? You ready? Let's fight!
The southpaw, the Korean.
Interesting thing about Dong-Young Kim, I was just talking to Joe Silva, and he was saying that Frank Mir, who is in Kim's corner, and trained with Kim for this fight, and he said he's excellent in all areas, but what he was really surprised in was how good Kim's boxing is. So let's see that. He's got Karo Parisyan down here. Karo's on his back. Full guard for Karo.
You know, for a long time, Joe, and I know you know Karo very well, living in the same area, training together frequently, he was a lot like the old BJ Penn, where he overwhelmed a lot of opponents with talent and didn't follow it up with the conditioning that you would see from a modern-day gladiator in mixed martial arts. He says he has changed all that. He's hired a full-time strength and conditioning coach. He really wants to, I guess, to put on the heat on the welterweight division here in 09.
Well, he's got to get past this position here. Dong-Young Kim has got his back standing. We saw this with Matt Brown. He had Matt Brown's back, had a rear naked choke, was unable to finish it. We'll see what he's able to do here.
Well, we have watched Karo fight a lot of times. This is his 12th time in the octagon. Rarely do you see him get manhandled in a grappling match.
You see his left leg? You can see the chunk that's missing out of his hamstring. You see it there? When he flexes it, it looks really odd.
And again, as you said, the way he uses that lower body strength to use the hips and the throws, that's where a lot of the power of Karo Parisyan comes from.
Kim just clinging to Karo's back here, not letting this good position go.
2 world-class judo practitioners, 2 judo black belts. Branching out Parisyan, training in Albuquerque with Greg Jackson and the fine team there, including George Rush St. Pierre.
He's showing excellent control here, really staying on Karo's back, landing some good punches.
Mouthpiece on the turf, right? And the reaction of the crowd.
I don't know if referee Josh Rosenthal has seen the mouthpiece on the ground yet.
We all remember the big knee to Karo Parisyan from Diego Sanchez, which he told us was not a tooth. It was a veneer that was knocked out that night.
Kim is going for an armbar here. Karo rolls out. Karo's on top now.
Kim very aggressive here early.
Yeah, he's got a really good ground game. And to be able to hold Karo in that position for so long, that's very impressive. He's throwing a triangle up. He's got it secured.
Wow. And Karo's out. Parisyan trying to survive early.
But Kim attacking even off of his back. He's not giving Karo any chance to rest.
Josh Rosenthal, our referee, has picked up the mouthpiece. 120 remains in round one. You know, to me, Joe, knowing Karo as we do, I think he knew he had to survive a lot of things, including his opponent, here in the first 4 or 5 minutes of this fight.
Karo was going for a takedown there, and Kim really reversed the situation very quickly and has got Karo's back again.
MMA very new to the Korean fans, but Kim is extremely popular overseas.
You know, I gotta say, Mike, this is, I don't think we've seen Karo get dominated on the ground like this before. I mean, even in the Diego Sanchez fight, it was more back and forth until Diego's conditioning eventually wore Karo out. But this is Karo getting out-techniqued.
Good start for the South Korean.
Nice knees to the leg by Kim.
The only losses in his UFC career for Parisyan have come to St. Pierre, Sanchez, and Alves. 3 of the best in the game still today. Trying to exit with a big swing.
Big right hook there by Kim.
Round 1 in the books, and a good one for Dong-Hyun Kim.
And here we see the triangle attempt by Dong-Hyun Kim. Karo Parisyan leaves an arm in there. Kim slaps it on, locks it up, but Karo is able to pop his head out and get his arm out of the way. And here Karo was looking to take down Kim, and watch him hit this switch and immediately get behind him. Just really out-grappled Karo in that round, and that's something you rarely see.
That was a great round. You got pushed, and you showed you got heart, okay? Yep. Now let's take this fight over. See that right hand you hit? Beautiful. Follow the game plan. Now let's start taking over. You got your first win. That's your first win, like your warm-up. Okay? Right. Take this round over.
Fight inside, okay? Keep that tight, all right?
Joe, you look in the eyes of Karo Parisyan. It's almost like mentally as well as physically, Karo's trying to convince himself that he's back in the game.
Well, you know, when you've had panic attacks, you know, and you've gotten to a situation where you've lost control of the way you think, you know, it's real hard to recover from that. Very difficult to get confident, and then get confident to the point where, you know, you feel like you can professionally cage fight again. I mean, a lot of people have panic attacks. It's hard for them to show up for work at an office, you know. Imagine having a panic attack and having to fight, you know, a talented guy like Dong-Hyun Kim in a cage in front of millions of people.
Said he woke up one night, his blood pressure was about 160, 111. Never did go on the medication, said I'm going to overcome it mentally. And, you know, Karo Parisyan's one of the most popular and likable guys in the game. And you hope he can overcome that, not just as a fighter, but as a person.
And Kim has his back again here from the standing position. Now, Karo went for that judo throw, but winds up on his back with Kim, you know, in a dominant position. And Karo is trying for a Kimura on Kim's arm, but if Kim can mount him for here, that will be useless. But Karo is trying to use it to turn him over, and he does. Karo's on top, and he's still got that arm. He's not letting it go. Karo can turn this into a... Oh!
Parisyan starting to turn it up here in the early part of round number 2.
Very close to securing a Kimura there. It seems like Karo's having a hard time keeping his mouthpiece in. He lost it again there.
Kim with Parisyan up against the fence. Karo trying to control that right arm. Three minutes, 10 seconds remains in round two. Fight scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. Randy Couture, Rashad Evans, right behind our broadcast position, shouting some encouragement to Karo Parisyan after round number one. Evans, of course, in Albuquerque, and Couture and Parisyan have spent a lot of time together, Joe.
Yeah, they've trained together on numerous occasions. Karo's trained with some of the best camps in the world before finding himself now here with Greg Jackson.
There's beautiful one. That's Karo Parisyan right there.
That's the Karo of old.
Yep.
And he's on top, inside control.
With his opponent up against the cage. Can't grab the fence. Josh Rosenthal right on it. Parisyan.
He's got double underhooks and he's got Kim's back. But he's got to be careful of Kim popping up and taking his back.
Past the midway point of this fight, scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. Karo Parisyan, Dong-Young Kim. And the Armenian doing a great job on the Korean thus far. Parisyan takes a look at the clock. Tried to sweep the leg.
Kim popped out of it. Now Kim's got Karo pressed up against the cage. Karo's got to be feeling much more confident because of that throw.
Joe, I really wonder how much truly he needed to get through, not just his opponent, but in the big picture in those first 5 minutes. And when you listen to the message delivered to him by Greg Jackson, it made one think that, all right, I'm back, now I'm going to go to work.
Yeah, I mean, Greg Jackson is an excellent motivator. And the way he said it is like, look, you got to win. You got through it. That was the win. The win was just getting in there again.
Mouthpiece again.
Let's get this thing in. You speed it out again, I'm going to have to take the points the second time, all right? Let's go.
I just don't think that mouthpiece fits that well. I don't think he's spitting it out. I think it's falling out.
Let's go.
It should be very difficult to take your mouthpiece off.
Mouthpiece in, let's go.
With a professionally fitted mouthpiece, you got to pull on that sucker to get it out. And this thing's just falling out of his mouth. I think it's a matter of him buying, I think it's a boil and bite mouthpiece, a cheaper mouthpiece.
We got to find him a dentist.
Exactly.
Mold him a mouthpiece.
Surely there's someone out there that wants to help.
Clearly. Final minute of round two.
Good jabs by Kim and a good counter jab.
Karo
nice
pushing
right
forward, southpaw.
Karo.
Karo right leg forward here. Southpaw against southpaw. You can even see the way he's moving it in his mouth, Joe. It does seem uncomfortable, kind of hanging out again.
Yeah. It's going to come out again if he gets hit while he's doing that.
And you know what? It can affect your breathing, the mouthpiece, when it doesn't fit properly.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's not
just hanging out.
He keeps pushing it back in.
Molded mouthpiece now available at heat.com.
There's no substitute for a professionally made mouthpiece. It makes a big difference. You put it in, you don't have to think about it anymore.
Yep.
Nice elbow and a left hand by Karo Parisyan.
Much better second round turned in by Karo Parisyan.
Dude, you're kicking his ass now.
That's pretty accurate.
Sit down. Beautiful.
Okay, give me this.
You got water?
Yeah.
Oh,
You're beating him up now, dude. Beautiful throw. You definitely won that round. You're looking strong now, okay? In through the nose. In through the nose.
Okay. Do exactly what you're doing.
Get
hit him a few
Vaseline on
times, clinch him. Hit him a few times, clinch him. What are you going to do? Hit him a few times, clinch him. Hit him a few times, clinch him.
Mix it.
That's all you got to do and you win this fight. Now
Get some
listen to me.
Vaseline.
5 minutes, my friend. 5 minutes. You can do fucking 5 minutes in your sleep. 5 minutes.
I'm trying. It's just he didn't form it very well.
And here we see, this is the beautiful judo of Karo Parisyan, taking down a very talented judoka in Dong-Young Kim. So it was both a moral victory and a technical victory. You know, the death of the great Elio Gracie, one of the most important figures in the history of martial arts.
Passing away at the age of 95, our thoughts and prayers with all of the Gracie family. Truly a pioneer and one of the main reasons why we are all here today, enjoying the great game of mixed martial arts.
Yeah, easily the most important person in jiu-jitsu history.
Father of 9 children, including, of course, UFC Hall of Famer Royce Gracie. Takedown by Dong-Yeon Kim.
Full guard by Karo. Karo's throwing his legs up for a triangle. Up kick. You know what? He pushed him off.
That seemed like a push. I would agree with that. Now Josh Rosenthal is going to talk to him.
All right. It happens again, I'm taking the point, right?
I think not only that, I think he hit his chest.
But you got to make sure it doesn't slip up to the face, okay?
There he goes.
Great job. Great job by Josh Rosenthal.
Let's take a look at it here. To me, it looked more like a push. Yeah, it's like, get off me, bitch.
Well, nonetheless, they're standing up, and Karo back in the traditional stance.
Karo's pushing hard now.
4:05 remains in the fight. Easily, you could say round 1 to Kim, round 2 to Parisyan.
Kim's got Karo down, though, and he's got his back again. He loves this standing rear naked choke. I don't think I've ever seen a fighter who gets standing rear naked chokes more than Dong-Yeon Kim. This round is do or die for Karo Parisyan.
...2004 Olympic qualifier in Athens. Parisyan. Aggressive and powerful. The South Korean, Dong-Yeon Kim. Looking to remain unbeaten in his MMA career and perfect at 3-0 in the UFC. 3:05 remains in the fight.
Nice knee to the body by Kim.
Come on, Karo. There we go.
Karo with a jumping knee attempt.
Joe, this is a razor-close fight so far.
He's got a single here, but what Kim is doing is trying to hit a switch as he takes him down. See that right hand that he has in between Karo's legs?
Yeah.
What he's going to try to do is shift his hips and get out the back door and wind up on top of Karo. And he keeps going towards it, but he's back to his feet. Double underhooks for Kim here. That's a good position. He can trip Karo and get him on his back here.
Still hanging that mouthpiece out. Going deep into that tank that has made him such a great competitor his entire life, Karo Parisyan. Maybe not just a turning point in his fighting career, but a crossroads in his life with the things he has gone through lately.
Well, it's certainly a moral victory just getting back into the cage after all he's been through. I'm proud of him, and I'm happy to see him back in here.
Went through the leg injury, as you mentioned, had some problems with his eyes, the panic attacks, and you know, I'm sure there was a lot of proving he had to do truly to himself again tonight. And Joe, you a very good friend of his. We've seen him for a long time. You have to be proud in his perseverance.
And he takes Kim down.
Now he wants to be prideful in victory. And he's beaten some of the best. Lytle, Serra, Fickett, Berkman, Shonin. Final minute of the fight. 6 junior national judo crowns.
Karo Parisyan was so good at judo, he even holds a judo victory over Sokaju. Sokaju, who's a significantly larger man.
redefining leverage, right?
All technique.
Nicely
nice
done.
Trip right there. Karo's just trying to grind him out here. But this is a tough fight to score.
No question. I was just thinking the same thing.
If Karo can complete this takedown, that will help him.
Final seconds. Fight is over.
That's it. He got through it.
We will go to the judges' scorecards.
You won it, brother.
A great accomplishment.
Congratulations, my man.
You won it.
You just won that fight.
And here you see a beautiful knee to the body by Dong-Hyun Kim. Good job, good work in the clinch there. And a lot of clinch work in this fight. So much of it there. There's a good left hook by Kim.
Frank Mir, you see in the corner of Dong-Hyun Kim, as you mentioned, Joe. Frank Mir, top contender in the UFC heavyweight division, the UFC interim heavyweight champion.
How good did that guy look against Nogueira?
Like a new man.
Thank you. Thank you. Good fight. Very good.
The heat.
Tough fight.
And the stun gun.
Still got it, though.
And the longtime former UFC light heavyweight champion of the world, Chuck the Iceman Liddell, here tonight. Here we go. Let's see who has won this fight, Joe. The decision from Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards. Tony Weeks scores the bout 29-28, Parisyan. Douglas Crosby scores it 29-28, Kim. And Marcos Rosales scores the contest 29-28, declaring the winner by split decision, Karo the Hyun.